Let's talk about what it really looks like to run a business and work a full-time job. I have been doing this for years, and I even made another video on this. I think in that video I gave 10 or so tips on how to be successful while still working your full-time job and running your side business or your business that you want to become your main business. So we're gonna get into 10 more tips that I have for you on how to be successful while doing both at the same time. So the first tip is actually the same first tip that I gave in my last video. And the reason why I am giving it again is because I think that it is so important. If you want to successfully run a business while you're working full time, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you are in great standing at your full-time job. Running a business and working full-time looks different to everyone. If you think about the personal life responsibilities that you also have to integrate into both of those, you want to make sure that you are in good standing with your 9 to 5, your full-time job, so that you don't have to worry about that. Maybe if you are just starting at a new job, maybe it's not the best time to start a business or pick up your business, or maybe it is, only you know that, but it is something to at least ask yourself before you decide to go all in on your side business. The second tip that I have found that has worked really well for me is batching or compartmentalizing my days. So what that looks like is if you have, let's say, admin work that you need to do, not spreading your admin work across several different days, making sure that you get all of your admin work or trying to get all of your admin work done on one day or across a day and a half, so that you're not trying to switch back and forth between your more creative side and your working side and your admin side. Same thing with batching your work in general. If there is a certain task that you have to complete or a series of tasks that you have to complete and they are all within the same bucket, trying to get those done on the same day is really going to help you, because you're not going to have to, again, compartmentalize your brain on, okay, I have to do this, but then I also have to split my time between doing my admin work and then, maybe packing orders or whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. Have different days to do different things. So maybe you have one day for admin work, one day for packing orders, one day for following up with customers or customer success. Batching just helps you stay in a creative flow and get more done in less time. The next is something that you may already be doing, but maybe you're not doing it, so we're going to talk about it, and that is using your lunch break strategically. Now, I know depending on the type of work that you do, everyone's lunch break does not look the same. However, you should be giving yourself some uninterrupted time to just have your lunch, close your computer, or take a step away from work, whatever it is that you're doing, and actually have time for yourself. And depending on how your lunch is structured or how long your lunch is or where you are when you're on your lunch break, you want to make sure that you are using this strategically. Now, this may not necessarily be the time to dive into tasks that are going to take a lot of brain power from you or take a lot of time, but this might be the time to get ahead of some emails or start brainstorming for another piece of content that you need to put up, or another marketing campaign that you maybe thought about while you were at work and you want to expand on that idea. Making sure that you're doing something every single day for your business, even if it's just something as small as a 30-minute working session, is going to give you a lot more clarity in terms of what it is that you're doing when you go home. Maybe you're setting up for that. Maybe you're writing out notes on what you're going to work on when you get off of work, or what you need to work on the next day, or someone you need to follow up with, or like I said, a marketing plan that you thought about while you were at work and you're kind of fleshing it out a little bit more. Using your lunch break strategically will help you to make sure that you are integrating different parts of your business into your day in a way that works for you. The next thing I cannot stress enough, and this is something that I'm actually building out systems for currently to try to get better at, is automating systems. Automate. Whatever it is that you can automate, you should. Whether this is emails to go out at a specific time or a specific day, or maybe you have content that you want to post at a specific time or a specific day. Whatever it is that you can automate, you should. It's also a really good practice to make sure that you have different things happening in your business at different times. So maybe you have a marketing campaign that just went out via email, or maybe you have some matching content, some corresponding content content that's going up on social media around the same time. Having the ability to automate these things while you are at work or at your kid's soccer game or out to dinner with your friends is going to make you feel like you are just unstoppable when it comes to your business, because you have another tool that you can rely on. It's almost like an assistant that you have to rely on to keep your business running while you just physically can't. There's so many different tools for this. For email, I use MailChimp right now. I know there's so many different email automation tools. There are also a lot of integration tools as well. So you may have a tool that integrates into your MailChimp that helps you to automate something else. Another thing that I use is Calendly. I love Calendly. I use that for all of my one-on-ones with my students. I also use it for new student discovery calls. And I also just use it for if anyone wants to do, some sort of a coffee chat. I have a place that can automate my bookings for me. It will send me a calendar invite. It will tell me if someone canceled. It automates everything for me so that I don't have to worry about the other person on the other end and what they're setting up, what they're not setting up. It just does everything for me. For automating content, I'm using a mix of things. For Instagram, I'm using Later. For TikTok, I was trying to get into TikTok Studio and hoping that that was going to work really well, but I feel like the capabilities are a bit limited right now, so I'm going to hold off on that for now. So now what I do for TikTok is I queue everything up in the TikTok app, save it in my drafts, and set a reminder. It's not automated, but the fact that I have everything already queued up, I don't have to do anything but push the post button, really makes things a lot easier for me. So now let's move into how and when you work, because how you actually structure your days is going to matter so much when it comes to the consistency of your business. So picking a time to actually work on your business, whether this is going to be early in the morning or in the evenings, or maybe you have different parts of your day that are a little bit more free because your schedule is a bit more flexible, making sure that you have a dedicated time that every single day you are going to sit down and work on your business or do whatever it is. Maybe that's unpacking orders or inside of your warehouse. Working on your business at the same time every day not only sends a signal to your brain saying, okay, at this time every day you're supposed to be doing this, but again, it also helps for the consistency. And I can't stress enough how hard it is, as I'm sure you guys already know, but it is hard to work full-time and run a business. However, having a designated time and a designated space to actually work on your business is going to be very instrumental in your consistency and your longevity for your business. The next tip is one that I wish I had done a lot sooner, and that is outsourcing. Outsourcing is really important because outsourcing, kind of like automation, but a little bit different. Outsourcing is going to free up your time, and there is no one that will benefit from free time more so than someone who works a full-time job and is trying to grow their business and expand their business at the same time. So outsourcing is going to be very important. There's so many tasks that you can outsource. Even things like your admin work, you can outsource that. Helping you to find customers and find clients. There are companies out there that will help you with that. And when I say companies, I don't mean like these large conglomerates that, are probably going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are people that have small companies, or they may work for themselves, and their sole job is to help you get customers or get clients for your business. That is what they do. So everything from admin work to helping you to find new business, to new marketing campaigns, to help with your website, I would heavily recommend outsourcing before you think you're ready. And one of the reasons why I say outsourcing before you think you're ready is because a lot of times we wait until we feel like we're drowning in the work or in the tasks to ask for help. And that's the wrong time to ask for help. And here's the reason why. Something is going to suffer. So instead of getting to that point, what I would recommend is pick one thing that you feel that you have the financial ability to outsource right now, and you have the time to onboard someone onto your team to show them how to do the tasks that need to be done. I would challenge you to do that and let me know how that works out for you. The reason why I say this is because I want you to get in the habit of asking for help and paying for help. And again, if you have the means to, if you have the financial ability to, a lot of times the things that we want help for or with don't really cost that much. There are sites like Fiverr and Upwork where you can go on there and you can find all sorts of contractors that have so much experience and can deliver what it is that you're looking for in a really quick turnaround time. There have been so many times where I've been like, you know what, I can do that. And that's another thing that happens too, especially when you are someone who is good at a lot of things. You want to do it because you want to have that control or because you know that you can. But a lot of times it's not doing it because you know that you can. It's allowing someone else to do it to free up your time and give you some time back. So outsource before you think you're ready, and let me know how that goes for you. The next one is a big one. It has to do with boundary setting. Setting boundaries is going to be really, really important, especially in the earlier stages of your business. When you don't have things automated, when you don't have your systems in place, when you haven't outsourced various tasks and things yet. Setting boundaries with not only friends and family is going to be important, but also yourself. That sounds like so much fun, but I'm actually not going to be able to make it. I have so many orders to pack on Sunday and everything is just piling up. Let people know what your new priorities are. They will respect it. They may not be happy about it because they may want you to come out with them, but it's okay. They will respect it. Putting your phone on silent or do not disturb is going to make sure that you're not pulled out of whatever it is that you're doing just because you got an email or someone sent you a text message. And then, like we talked about earlier, making sure that you have designated working times. Maybe it's Sunday mornings or Saturday afternoons where you know and everyone knows she's over there working on her business right now, or they're over there doing that right now. What happens is it actually creates a healthier environment because there's a lot of communication going on. When people know that there is something that is very important to you, they will respect it, but you have to stick to your boundaries. Now, this next one is one that I have recently started doing and I am loving it, and that is having CEO days at least once a week. Now, what is a CEO day? A CEO day is where you sit down with yourself. Maybe you're a team of one, or maybe you have a team, but you sit down with your team and you focus on the goals of the business. And you do nothing during that time but think about and project what are the goals of the business. So you're not only just reviewing your goals, but you're also doing things like reviewing sales for the week or for the month and making sure that you are on track to hit your goals. You also want to use this time to review the previous week. So I love to do this because being able to take a look at the previous week and say, okay, this is what worked, this is what didn't work, allows me to know what I should implement into the week that I'm currently in. So typically I do a lot of my reviewing on Friday. Fridays is when I typically set up for the following week. So that way when Monday comes around, my calendar is blocked off. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm working on because I have done that the week before. So it's either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'll sit down at my computer. It'll take however long it takes, but I will literally make sure that loose ends are tied up and I will start to plan out the previous week. What this also helps me with is making sure that I'm intentional. One of the things that I cannot stand as an entrepreneur is when I don't have any intentions or goals for the day. Of course, we all have goals, we have things we want to do, but there's so many things to do as an entrepreneur, especially when you are a team of one. So whether it is, like I said, making sure that you are batching your work or whether it is that you are automating things, you still want to make sure that you are very clear when you sit down to work at every point of the day that you know what it is that you are working on. And that's also something that you can translate back into your 9 to 5 as well, but it really works in your business, your personal business, because your personal business tends to be a lot less structured than your traditional 9 to 5 or your full-time job. So that is why every single time you sit down, you have to have a list of things that you've crossed off that you've already done and a list of things that you still have yet to do. So that way you don't waste any time when you sit down to work on your business. Another thing that I will share with you is that it is okay to move a bit slower as long as you are working smarter. When you are starting off, kicking off your business, or whether you are in the process of growing your business, it is still difficult. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself grace. You're still working a full-time job. You are really putting your all into this passion of yours. And then you have personal responsibilities and commitments. So making sure that you're giving yourself grace, and if things take a little bit longer, recognize why they're taking a little bit longer, and recognize where the areas of opportunity are to work smarter. We've talked about some of them already, but I just want to remind you that it is okay if you don't feel like your business is taking off as quickly as someone else, or that you're not getting to that content number, that content goal that you have as quickly as someone who is doing content full time. It is okay. Just make sure that you are continuing to work smarter. And then the last tip that I have for you is something I'm still trying to work on myself, and that is to celebrate the small wins. We all have these small wins of, oh, when I hit this amount of subscribers, or oh, when I hit this amount of sales, I'm gonna do this. And I don't know about you guys, but what tends to happen for me is when I actually hit those milestones, I'm already in my mind thinking about the next milestone. So I don't even celebrate that milestone. But that is something that I need to change. And if you're the same way, or if you're not celebrating yourself or your company, if you don't want to celebrate yourself in any way, make sure that you are still acknowledging those wins. If you get your first client, you should celebrate. If you hit that milestone subscriber count, you should celebrate. If you launch that new landing marketing page, you should celebrate. If you had 1 or 2 clicks to your website for the first time, you should celebrate. All of these moments are moments that we've all waited for and wished for, but sometimes when they actually come, it's harder to celebrate ourselves because we're always looking to what the next thing is. But I want us to slow down a little bit, and when I say us, I'm talking to myself as well, and celebrate the small wins, because the small wins will eventually become really big wins in the future. So yes, learning how to run your business, pay attention to it, nurture it, grow it, and work a full-time job is difficult. We can say that it is difficult, but you can do it. I'm here for you. So let me know in the comments what has worked for you when it comes to building your business and working a full-time job. It doesn't look the same for everyone, but all of the tips that we can share will make each of us a stronger business owner and a full-time worker. So those are all of the tips that I have for you guys today. I will see you in the next one.